Flappy Bird, a seemingly innocent game with a dark, terrible backstory. Now, I'm sure many of you have come to this video knowing something about Flappy Bird, whether that has been playing it or throwing your phone in a pool because of it. Nonetheless, this mobile app was one of the biggest games ever created. And today, we're going to be having a look at the tragic tale of Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird was released on the 24th of May 2013, an addictive clicking game where you had to guide the bird through a seemingly endless amount of pipes. However, some did complete this to find a Mario Easter egg at the end of the game. Again, only a minor audience actually managed to reach the end. Those who casually played Flappy Bird would never reach the end. It was an addicting game. With that small amount of people actually beating the game, the Mario ending was a myth to many. Yes, it didn't stop the massively extending player base to keep playing the game. At this point, Flappy Bird's popularity was seemingly at its peak, with some saying it's the next Angry Birds or the next Temple Run. At its peak, millions of people were buying Flappy Bird per day. It's got to the point where the game's creator, which I'll pronounce N for simplicity, was making over $50,000 per day from the ads included in the game. Now, you'd think making 50 grand from a super simple game would be a blessing. However, for this creator, eventually this would turn out to be a curse. On January 17th, 2014, the game went to the #1 most popular free app in the world. Fans across the globe mocking and memeing the game, leaving 5-star reviews such as, "I'm sitting in the bathtub writing this review, warning you not to download it. My family doesn't dare enter. My brother hasn't taken a shower in a month." Now, all of these can just be taken as light-hearted, mocking jokes about the game and its nature. However, the other one sums up the game realistically. All it takes is seeing the words Flappy Bird until you find yourself, 19 hours later, fingers bleeding, screen cracked, eyes duct taped open, insomnia and paranoia set in, so determined to pass the devil bird through the impassable gates that you would sacrifice every part of your body except your thumb if it helped beat your high score. With every success comes criticism, and with Flappy Bird that's no different. A user wrote, "What is this low budget game of Super Mario, and why is it becoming popular? It sucks. I kept playing, became increasingly pissed, and asked the owner for an interview. After arranging an interview with N, and after the interview itself, it would be the last ever time this reporter heard from N. Maybe the game was too stressful for him, the growing amount of criticism, or maybe the amount of news corporations such as CNN wanting an interview. Either way, this game was nicknamed the embodiment of our descent into madness." N was at the highlight of his Flappy Bird career, rich, happy, and creating other video game projects and speaking at game events, even becoming accustomed to the amount of fans he had garnered, even the hateful ones. "I got so many mean tweets, I'm getting used to it now." This, however, would prove false afterwards. Towards February 2014, the Flappy Bird community fell down on him as a whole. N got a barrage of insults, death threats, and other harmful messages as a result of Flappy Bird being really addictive. Complaints about the game not being on Windows, and overall a storm of criticism. N's confidence of the game being good turned into self-doubt. And now I am not sure if it is good or not. Fans pushing out apologies from him. "I am really sorry I cannot keep my promise. I am trying really hard. There are a lot of things happening to me right now." We can now see the storm of hateful messages getting to N. Yet fighting back, he tweeted, "Flappy Bird is kinda cool. What are you all getting so worked up about?" For many today, speaking back out wouldn't be a problem, yet this is 2014, with the rules online not being as nice as a cringe 12-year-old on Twitter telling you to get cancelled. Media websites started turning negative for Flappy Bird, with IGN stating, "Flappy Bird isn't even good, and it's completely artless." With the growing amount of hate, users accused N of botting accounts to make Flappy Bird get onto the charts artificially, which would be a violation of Apple's terms of service. With Carter Thomas, an app developer, stating, "I hate to say it, but it looks really similar to bot activity." N, however, would deny these claims. As the week went on, N had gone from the confident, fan-servicing game creator to the depressed, isolated controversy. Alright, and welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Walking Controversy. We are here live from the TGR Gaming channel, which by the way you should all subscribe to. Today we are joined by Dong Nguyen. Nguyen? How am I supposed to say it?
It's pronounced new.
Anyway, we have 4 options regarding this tweet from one of your Flappy Bird users. If you get the correct answer, then You win! Flappy Bird has ruined my life. I've been playing it for 8 hours straight and I swear my eyes are bleeding. I'll read your 4 options now. A. Laugh. B. Apologise. C. Write a sincere answer yet have nobody care. D. It's pretty obvious the answer is C.
I think I'll go with A.
What? All jokes aside, tweets and comments from Flappy Bird users like this one would come up regularly. And despite N's worried and concerned replies, it's just a game, take care of yourself first. I don't make the game to ruin people's lives. Furthermore, N tweeted, I can call Flappy Bird a success of mine, but it also ruins my simple life, so now I hate it. The creators' pure love and ambition for the game, now nothing more than hatred. People across the globe blaming Flappy Bird for the problems that they were going through, with N's inability to sleep and constant pressure applied by the fans. N was mixed on what to do. Flappy Bird was the painfully simple yet simply painful gaming experience, with users fed up, lives ruined, and N's life being threatened. It happened. By the Saturday on February 10th, N decided to pull the game from the App Store completely. I'm sorry Flappy Bird users. I will take Flappy Bird down. I cannot take this anymore. Showing how far the criticism had reached N, however this still wasn't enough to stop trolling users on Twitter. If you delete Flappy Bird, I'll kill myself, wrote a player, including a disturbing photo of a woman with a handgun pointed in her mouth. Jesus. Was given no real reason on why Flappy Bird was being pulled. Some just said Nintendo threatened to sue N due to its similarities to Super Mario. These, however, were proven false by a Nintendo representative. The answer to why N pulled Flappy Bird is still unknown. Maybe just the stress and fear for his life with the messages he received, or how it could possibly ruin other people's lives. We never got an answer. As N remained that quiet, people began theorising and hoaxing about his death. However, N is still alive and is creating games to this day. Quick update, turns out I got that prior segment wrong. N broke his silence, stating that due to his guilt of indirectly destroying other people's lives stemming from the addictive nature from Flappy Bird, he figured it would be best to delete it to prevent any others from ruining their lives further. However, this story is not finished. Multiple copycat games of Flappy Bird have gone on the market. Even the real Flappy Bird website is supposedly up. Cheap knockoffs on the Google Play and Apple Store, and most noticeably the Flappy Doge game, being a mirror replica yet replacing the little bird to a Shinnah Inu. Definitely butchered that. This game was pretty popular, yet none of these would or could live up to the original standard. The game's success can still be seen to this day. Looking on eBay, the price listings for buying a device with the original Flappy Bird on can cost you upwards of $500. I now regret a lot in life. Furthermore, merch listings of Flappy Bird have been released, although I seriously doubt that N made these, as these look pretty questionable. Some even genre Flappy Bird as a psychological horror, as your mind can get so messed up from playing the game. Although I'm sure there's plenty of other games considerably worse. Flappy Bird left a dent on the gaming industry at the very end, testing people's determination and stupidity for trying to beat a simple score and get a medal. Although this can be said for any game these days. Even now, on the 24th of May 2023, a day I chose specifically to release this video, as it's the 10th decade anniversary of this hugely controversial game, Flappy Bird can still be seen guiding its way through the internet. Flappy Bird's success in general paved the way for other forms of gaming, proving you don't need a super realistic engine or spend upwards of millions on a video game in order to generate success. A recent game further proving this being an unofficial crossover between Flappy Bird and Dark Souls, titled Flappy Souls. A fairly new game, with it just being a faster paced and merged design of Dark Souls. Crazy to think how new games revolving around Flappy Bird are still arising. In my opinion, a Pokemon Flappy Bird would be pretty cool. Yet that ends today's discussion on Flappy Bird. Sorry if the video felt pointlessly long or repetitive, I'm still pretty new to this type of content. And it's crazily coincidental that, while working on this video, the 10-year anniversary of Flappy Bird was approaching, which is a pretty good timing to remember this game for what it is. An annoying, addictive game, whilst also spriting the potential for other simple games in the future. Thank you to anyone who's watching this far, and yeah, this sums up the tragic tale of Flappy Bird, and how the game mirrored itself, endlessly soaring high, yet eventually falling at its end.